Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Rule of Jenny Penn, and this is a new horror film from writer-director James Ashcroft, based off of the short story from Owen Marshall, that focuses on this judge played by Geoffrey Rush, who we see from the opening sequence. He is like a very arrogant, self-assured judge who has power in his courtroom. And unexpectedly and uncomfortably, we witness him having a stroke. And he winds up in this nursing home, and he's desperately trying to get out, get better, get out of here. But he comes across this resident, played by John Lithgow, who has a little hand puppet named Jenny Penn, who apparently rules the roost. And this wild, unhinged individual makes Rush's character's life a living hell in this Kiwi film. And this film, Ashcroft certainly captures an eeriness and a vibe and an atmosphere. I think from the opening courtroom scene, you can see there's a bit of dynamic and engaging camera work and filmmaking technique. There's evocative and very powerful imagery at times, especially like this early scene where this man at this place, accidentally lights himself on fire, and it's horrifying. And just the whole entire experience, the way that the camera engages with Jenny Penn, this little hand puppet, there's some really eerie moments in terms of like shadow and stuff like that makes this creepy looking puppet even scarier. I think filmmaking wise, this really works. I do feel like it has this propulsive kind of energy, despite the fact that narratively, it does get very repetitive. After a while, you're like, how many weird shenanigan things can John Lithgow's character do while keeping me completely engaged, despite the fact that it feels like it's trying to buy some time at points to build up to those big narrative beats that are going to thrust the story forward. Because this film isn't particularly long. It's an hour and 45 minutes, but it probably could have been an hour and 30 minutes. There's just, it's well shot, it's eerie, it's creepy, it's well performed, but there's certain scenes that just like, did this really need to be there? And you feel a little bit of the pacing along the way because of those scenes that feel extraneous and not really adding too much to the proceedings. I think this story really digs into aging. And we see these horrible moments, like one with Rush in a bathtub being left alone, and a terrifying struggle for his own life from drowning. And you have all these moments, we really feel the aging, the themes centered around that. And also it's an entertaining film of rebellion against a powerful, oppressive force, and that's really what this film is about, is this conflict. And the biggest selling point of this film is the dynamic duo of Geoffrey Rush and John Lithgow. Geoffrey Rush, just everything, all of his line deliveries are just so perfect, and how he brings such personality to it all. But it's the physicality, it's selling the stroke. And those are the things in this particular film that really stand out. We see the struggle. We see the inability to do what he really wants to do with his own body. And it's affecting, it's impactful, it's powerful. And Rush gives a great performance. And then you have Lithgow putting on this Kiwi accent, is unhinged and wild. And there's moments of vulnerability, too, as we figure out like what his vulnerabilities are throughout the film. But there's just this mania, this crazed feeling, and like his little voices that he puts on, and all of these different kinds of things. It's a completely unhinged performance. This film narratively has some weak places, but what really sells this is some really good, work from Ashcroft. And, some of the writing is a struggle because this does feel like it's a stretched out short film. But it's the performances. It's this duo of Rush and Lithgow and Ashcroft behind the camera that really sells this film in the way that it does, for sure. But those are my thoughts on The Rule of Jenny Penn. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.